Hey everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Acres. Jason here. Beautiful afternoon here on the property, and today we're up at the sawmill. And the first thing we want to do is we've got the Gary Atkinson blade wiper contraption that I'm putting my finger on here. I'm not sure how well that shows up on camera, but I mean it's essentially just a metal bracket that holds this foam block here that goes in, and then ultimately where this drip line comes and that's factory right there, and that just drips a call it a dish detergent water solution on top of the blade. So we're going to move that bracket, try to catch a different bolt back here to put it on, and then we've got this guy here that will turn and ultimately drop fluid on top of this sponge, and then that will get go onto the blade as well, and that'll be diesel fuel instead of a soap mixture that goes up in this tank here. So yeah, that's it. So I kind of feel bad because Gary actually came up and put this on the mill. I mean, we're talking 8-9 months ago. So I've done a little bit of cutting, but we're getting ready to start ramping up and really using this thing. So I want to get this swapped over, and where we're using this diesel nozzle. And I may switch as far as which fluid that we're using. They do make some other materials that you can use instead of diesel fuel, but to get started, we'll get started with diesel and go from there. So all I'm really going to do is undo this bracket here and try to find a spot that works to get this nozzle lined up and being able to drip on this foam block. So come along, here we go. So you saw where I pulled that off of this front post here, and I think this same bracket will line up if I hook it to the back one on this side, and then we'll have flexibility with that new nozzle. So this is the guy here that we're gonna try to attach to. Okay, after looking at this again, originally we're gonna try to catch this post back here. I think I'm gonna switch gears and try attach the bracket here, and then I'll push the that nozzle through the back side of this opening right there. Sorry, I'm trying to do that with one hand, but you'll see it here in a second. Still trying to find a little permanent spot. I don't think this is the final solution. I know that doesn't show up real clear, but I think what I'll do is use this bracket and just tape this nozzle to it for now. That sits in a nice spot just to drip. You want 1 or 2 drips per second onto this pad just to keep it fully saturated. And then I'll tape up this little connection as well. Try to secure that a little better. I think that'll be good enough for a test run. So ideally what I'm trying to get is this guy to drip basically 1 drop per second, 2 at the most. And I'm just having trouble dialing in. Drop 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Yeah, that's probably about as consistent. I'm gonna try that for this log. So we'll get back up there, make those final just tweaks and modifications on that nozzle, get that connected, and then we'll test run with this piece of this cedar log right here. If you watched a few videos ago, we tried to get some stair treads for Miss Kara's boss man, and that did not work out so well, so we may end up with just more cedar chunks out of this guy, but there's a possibility to get 1 tread out of here if everything works perfectly, and maybe 2 pieces that we can laminate together to make 1 tread is a possibility as well. So we'll make those couple tweaks, then we're gonna put this cedar log on and see what we can get out of this guy. Come along. That's it. Ended up with a couple nice pieces here. Cut everything at 8/4, and I measured in here. I'll be right back. So to get that one stair tread, we were trying to get, you know, for just oversized purposes, call it 8 feet long. Get us to about here. So our smallest gap, if we were to laminate 2 pieces to get, we need 11 inches wide. So, you know, 5.5 inches, we can get that guy out of here. Possibly out of this one as well. I mean, we're gonna get into a little bit of a knot here, maybe some of these checks. I think it's worth a shot though. If you watch the previous episode, we tried to get some cedar treads, didn't really get it, but I think we can get 2 5.5 inch wide boards, laminate these 2 guys together to get one, and then the rest will have to go to our premium cedar wood bin. Yeah, I hate to break that up, but I think that's the right thing to do. So I think we're gonna give that a shot. We'll take these 2 guys down to the shop. The rest of these, there's a couple probably good project boards in there. We'll cut them like 4 foot lengths or something, have some live edge, prop those guys up in the shop, and then the rest of it will just go into our cedar little specialty firewood bin behind the camera right there. As far as the wiper, love it. I mean, there is nothing in here. I assume I'm doing everything fairly correctly. I'll bring you in here in a second, but the blade is nice and lubed. It felt like it cut a lot cleaner. There was no chatter up and down. Definitely not spray. With that solution before that we were doing, you peel these piece of lumber off, and there'd be a thick layer in there, and you saw me pressure washing a lot of those guys. I mean, this is all clean, ready to go. I did not put a new blade on there. I just wanted to see how it cut, and I think that was the right thing to do. I mean, there's no real skip marks across these guys, so that's it. I'm gonna go 2 thumbs up to the blade wiper from, that's Gary Atkinson. I'll put his contact info in the description of this video as well. If you don't know who that is, he's kind of the TimberKing accessory or modification guru. He's nearby Columbia, South Carolina, and actually came up here and put the blade wiper bracket on our machine here a long time ago. We finally got the nozzle connected to it today. Success on that, and hopefully we have success with these cedar guys. So we're gonna take these guys down to the shop and try to get 2 5.5 inch wide by 8 feet long boards, and then marry them up and hopefully get one good stair tread out of it, process the rest of this guy, and then we'll call it done. All right, so what we're gonna do is you can see how this goes from really wide to skinny, and that's where that tree broke off and they were bringing it down. Man, I sure wish we could have had the whole thing. It's a pretty good looking log, but that's what we got. So what we'll do is we'll just make a cross cut somewhere in here. We'll leave the bigger piece for a project piece, and then we'll take the narrower skinny piece. We'll cut those down to 12-inch pieces, and then probably run them on the splitter and get them in the cedar basket, and ultimately that'll go in the kiln, and then that can be, kiln dried premium little solo stove cedar wood or something like that. But so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna save the big pieces and process the skinny ones. Come on. Okay, so I think we did all the potentially easy parts of this video. We got the blade wiper on the sawmill. We got cedar log processed into 2-inch slabs. We took the rougher slabs and processed those into little chunks of firewood. And now comes the moment of, I don't know if this is gonna work or not. What we're gonna attempt to do is, you can see how these guys go from fat to skinny. And I'm gonna cut this guy off at 8 feet long. We're trying to make one stair tread that's 11 inches wide. So we're not gonna get the full 11, but I can come up here to 8 feet, cut that guy off, and I think we can get, I'm gonna try to get 6 inches wide out of each one. That gives us a little bit of play to cut them down, marry up the joint, and those kind of things. So I'm gonna cut it as wide as I can after we cut this sapwood off. So I'll cut the 8 foot, I'll get a clean edge, and then I'll see what kind of beef we can get out of each one. But the idea would be to get 6 inch wide, 8 feet long, and then we'll marry those up with some dominoes, make one stair tread out of it. So come along, we'll see how this goes. All right, so that's all we got for today on this one. We'll finish up tomorrow. I'll come back and we'll get this guy unclamped, clean up the cuts on the end, sand it down a little bit, and this guy will be ready to go. All right, so we're gonna call that a wrap for this video. Got 4 things accomplished out of this. Essentially, we ended up with, I'll count them up down there, but I mean 4 or 5 other project cedar boards. So we added to that collection, and as well as, let's call it the premium cedar chunks for, solo stove burning. Not quite sure how we're gonna market that, but we're getting a basket full of that. We got the 1 cedar tread for Miss Kara's boss man. Hopefully that'll work out for him. So this was a 2-inch thick, just in general, 2-inch thick, 8 feet long, 11 inches wide. I was able to book match 2 5.5-inch pieces together and just kind of laminate those and clean that up. So it's kind of a temporary solution for him. I think he needs 5 or 7 total, so we'll stay on the lookout to get a full set for him. So hopefully that'll work out for him, and at least temporary stopgap measure. And I think that looks pretty good. And then we started off this video with the Gary Atkinson blade wiper contraption or guard with diesel fuel, and cut with that for the first time. I mean, 2 thumbs up. Really enjoyed cutting with that. I don't know if it was just having the wiper on there, but it seemed to cut smoother, cleaner. Maybe I was using too much of the detergent solution as well previously, but it just seemed to work out really well. So hopefully that continues, because we're getting ready to ramp up production on this mill. As you can kind of see the wood yard, we're getting close to operational, and we're getting the kiln coming soon, and we're ready. So we got to start making material and getting on this guy at least 1 day a week, just trying to get inventory built up. So that's it. So yeah, we had blade wiper, and then byproducts made off cedar, the 1 log, and we are ready to roll and get this wood shop functional. Next steps are get lean-tos put on the utility building, a little bit of grading, and get set up for the kiln. So hope y'all stay with us and enjoy those videos as they come up. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, tell your mama, tell your friends, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.